Yo, what's good with y'all, man? I'm back in again with another video. It's your boy King J, J-A-E, Jalen. Yeah, y'all know me by now, but I'm gonna show you all the gear that you need to get in order to record a song like a professional, even if your pocket's looking a little light. We all kind of know what a studio looks like. You know, you got big speakers everywhere, you got knobs, you got a microphone, your little booth, you know, maybe there's like a little window for the guy on one side with the big soundboard to be able to hear the artist with, computers, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. Now, we're going to be going over everything that you can kind of compile down into a home studio. So I can set up kind of like what I got. If you want me to make like a wish list video, so like all the stuff that I dream of having out of that big studio to put in here, let me know, put that down in the comments. Also, if you want me to give you almost like a little bit of an overview or, you know, a little studio tour of what my setup is right here, we can make a video on that too. You know, just let me know. First main thing you need to have is a computer. Your computer is the most important thing you have in your studio. It's literally the whole brain of the operation. Without a computer, everything else fails. The type of computer that you have will literally make or break a session. The last thing you want in the middle of a session is everything going well, all of a sudden that thing cut off and you ain't saved nothing. Worst thing that could happen in the world. So you really need to make sure your PC, your Mac, whatever you get is right. If there's anything that I tell you to splurge on, like if you ain't got the money like that, like you gonna need to figure it out. Like if you gotta work a couple extra shifts, you gotta trade off with some people, do whatever, make sure your computer's right. I'd recommend that you need your computer to start at in order to like really make sure you're consistent. These two specs, this is gonna be RAM and there's gonna be storage. So your computer to start, I think should at least have 16 gigabytes of RAM. So 16 to 32 gigabytes of RAM. You can kind of do 8, but 8 you playing with fire. I ain't gonna lie. Like you gonna have a situation come up where you gonna be like, dang, I wish I had 16. Like I said, it's gonna be a big purchase. Go ahead and get the 16, bro. And then the other one is storage, specifically SSD storage. I'd recommend starting at least 500 gigabytes to 1 terabyte of SD storage. Now, if you don't know what RAM or storage is, that's fine. I'll put some links to videos below from some reliable people so they can really go into detail. Just make sure you get enough RAM, make sure you get enough storage, and you should be good from there. Yeah, so those are base specs that I'd say for any computer. So if you're going with a PC, you know, get that. But Macs, there's Intel Macs. Not saying don't get them, but low-key don't get them. Go ahead and get you a M1, M2, M3 to a M4 might be out by the time this video comes. I know it's kind of controversial because some things don't necessarily run natively within it. Not going to go into a bunch of detail with it. I'm using an M2 MacBook Pro. Literally have had no problems with it. Also a M1 Mac Mini whenever it first dropped, but I made the mistake of not getting enough RAM and not enough storage. So I ended up having to upgrade. So once again, get your RAM and get your storage, and don't be done like me because I spent a bunch of extra money I ain't have to. All right, moving on. Next thing on the list is your DAW, so your digital audio workstation. So this is the software that you're going to open every time that you want to start a project, you want to work on something. Drop in the comments what's y'all favorite DAW. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of want to see what y'all rocking, what y'all repping and things like that. There's a bunch of different options. There's paid options, free options. Look at the time markers that I have down here. We're gonna go over everything. First, let's run through major options we have for DAWs. Our first DAW is the industry standard. It's Pro Tools. In just about any studio that you're gonna go to in America, you're gonna see Pro Tools running in it. I've used Pro Tools before. I love Pro Tools. Pro Tools, I will say its strengths are in recording and mixing. I don't think there is a DAW that is easier and or better for recording and mixing just for all that it provides. Yeah, so all that you get in Pro Tools, I mean, you can just look here, you know, starting out, these are all annual that I have it set on right now. Pro Tools Artist has an annual subscription of $99 a year. Pro Tools Studio, $299 a year. Pro Tools Ultimate, $599 a year. And these also come with subscription models as well. Artist, $999, $34.99. and $99 a month. I think for the average individual, if you're an artist, you honestly probably could get away with Pro Tools Artist. You could either do annual or you could do the subscription. If you are an engineer, low key, depending on how big your project's gonna be getting, you might want to go ahead and go to Pro Tools Studio just from personal experience. 32 audio tracks, 64 MIDI tracks. That's cool. After a while, you'll start getting, sessions that end up having like 70, 80 tracks in it for hip hop specifically. If you get into other genres, like if you get into like rock, metal, all that stuff, bro, don't be surprised if you end up having 200 audio tracks in there. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, Pro Tools is a very good software, man. Very good DAW, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it's just what it is. I know also with those pricing options, I'm not gonna say it's dirt cheap, but at the same time, it's really worth it in a whole bunch of ways. Next on the list, Ableton. All right, so they just put out Live 12, but you see the pricing right here. Ableton Live 12 Intro starts at $99, Standard's $439, and then the Live Suite is $749. Now, granted, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck with you. I ain't got a whole bunch of experience in Ableton. Ableton is definitely a DAW that I've heard a lot of people say is very good for recording and production. There's a ton of producers that use Ableton. So, I mean, check it out, man. As far as pricing, it's pretty competitive across the board. If you do check out Ableton from this video, let me know how it is. The next DAW on the list is FL Studio. All right. FL Studio, aka Fruity Loops, it's very beginner friendly. There's a lot of producers, especially in the hip hop space, that got their start in FL Studio. A lot of high school guys that just absolutely love it. But basically, I think it's real user friendly, especially starting off. There's a good way of, dang, I don't really know how music theory works like that. I just want to get in here and crank out some beats. Bet. FL Studio is one of those ones you can just pick up and learn. But yeah, price points. So they got the Fruity Edition. It's $99. But these, now granted, in comparison, once again, this is a yearly subscription. This is to get the full thing. $99 for the Fruity Edition. $179 for the Producer Edition. $269 for the Signature Edition. $449 for all plugins edition. Yeah, so you're buying it outright. You get lifetime free updates. That's absolutely major. And that's one strike that ends up going against Pro Tools, because Pro Tools, you can't get a perpetual license, but if you buy a perpetual license, you can't update it. So if you're a producer, if you know you're going to be in hip hop, give it a shot. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of people are on it right now. Yeah, I mean, I really can't say anything too bad about FL Studio. Its strong suit is producing. All right, next on the list is a Mac only DAW. Is Logic Pro, and low key is my baby, if I'm gonna be honest. So Logic Pro, I think, is probably the best all around DAW there is. Like I said, I went over strong suits. I said Pro Tools is good at recording and mixing. I said Ableton is good at recording and production. I said FL Studio is a monster at production. Logic is the only DAW that I know of that does a very good job at every aspect of it. I'm not saying that DAWs don't do things better. I think Pro Tools is a better DAW at mixing. I think FL Studio is a better DAW at production. I have no experience with Ableton, but Logic is the one DAW that I feel like you could get and you ain't got to go out and get another DAW. If your studio you go to doesn't have Pro Tools, I bet money they got Logic. Logic, honestly, I think is that DAW. If there's a DAW that I argue over, is Logic. Look at it right there. $199. That's the only price. There ain't a bunch of different editions. There ain't a bunch of different versions. They ain't gonna withhold nothing from you. They ain't gonna give you a little bit, but not really all of it. $199. You get the whole thing. I hadn't had to pay for an update. Been smooth sailing. Like I said, it is Mac only, so if you don't have a Mac, or if you're not planning on getting a Mac, I feel you on that. I don't blame you for that. I do not use it for everything. I be cheating on my DAWs. I'm gonna actually go ahead and break it down now. I produce in FL Studio. As far as mixing and or recording, it depends on if I got Pro Tools. If I have Pro Tools, low key I'm gonna use Pro Tools, but I own Logic Pro outright. I don't know, Avid, do y'all want to, hey, y'all hit up Avid to see if they'll send me a license. if Avid, if you want to send me a license, I promise you I'll switch to Pro Tools. I'm being dead serious because I really do love Pro Tools. Every now and again, I'm just like, yo, bro, I don't be having it like that. I already bought Logic Pro. Why ain't I gonna use it? I already paid for it. Whenever I ain't got Pro Tools because, you know, I ain't got the money for the subscription or, you know, whatever. Dude, I mean, I just be on Logic and it hasn't let me down yet. I love it. I've learned a ton about it. All right, and then the last one that I'm gonna cover in this section is Studio One. Now, granted, I ain't gonna lie, Studio One is the only one that I'm not too certain on. I feel like at one point I did end up downloading kind of like almost like a little trial or whatever, and it was solid. I think it gets a lot of comparisons to Logic in a lot of ways. It's made by Personas, but I know a lot of people that actually really like Studio One. Pricing right now, they're on Studio One 6. I think they have right now a Studio One Plus Hybrid edition. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about, Studio One Plus Hybrid. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of other ways you can get Studio One, but low key right now, I think this probably is the best way to go. But it looks like they have the perpetual license, so you can buy Studio One 6 outright, any range between $149 and $399. You could buy Studio One as a one-time thing through however many versions they have. This is the one that I was really talking about. They have this thing going on where you could pay $180 for a year. You get Studio One 6 Pro, so you get like legit Studio One, as well as all these other communities and resources and plugins and things that Studio One Plus has to offer. And then by the time that you go through 1 year cycle, you have Studio One Pro perpetual, like forever. That's low-key a deal. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Studio One, but low-key, I was like, dang, that's kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? So now as far as free options, because you don't have to pay for a DAW. If you legit ain't got it, you ain't got to pay for a DAW. There's plenty of options out there. Literally all of the DAWs I mentioned have a free version. So Pro Tools, y'all probably saw it already on the front screen, but Pro Tools Intro, that's free. You can just download it. It comes with 8 audio tracks, 8 MIDI tracks. So I mean, that's a nice little starter pack. If you're just gonna be recording yourself, you know, if you record off of like 2 tracks all the time and stuff like that, all you need is Pro Tools Intro. Ableton Live 12. I know they have a free trial going on. There's a 30-day free trial, but they also have Live 12 Lite. So check that out. It's completely free as well. It's almost like Pro Tools Intro where you just have a limited version of the same DAW. FL Studio. If you just download FL Studio, you get the full-fledged DAW. Like you can do everything within the DAW. You can completely bounce projects. You can save projects. You can do all that. You can do everything you want within there. But once you close a project out, like once you save and close, you can't open that project again. So you know what I'm saying? Whatever beat, whatever song you working on, make sure you finish that thing if you're using a free version. If you ain't gonna be able to work on that thing no more. Free version of Logic, everybody already know what it is. It's GarageBand. Literally like GarageBand that come on your iPhone, GarageBand that come on your iPad, whatever Apple device you have GarageBand on it, or you can get it for absolutely free. If you get GarageBand on a computer, it's literally Logic. It's just Logic shrank down. So if you want to get a feel of how Logic will be before you buy it for real, literally just download GarageBand on your Mac. It's going to be identical to what more could you ask for? And then Studio One. Now, I'm not too certain on how Studio One works. I know they had Studio One Prime or Studio One 5. I'm not sure if they have that for 6. Let me know if you guys know that for sure or not, because I want to be able to, you know, let people know for real. If y'all let me know if Studio One Prime works for Studio One 6, I'll pin it in my comments so you know you guys get an answer on it. All right, and then outside of the ones I've mentioned already, I mean, there's other free DAWs out there. There's a web browser type of DAW, so like you could literally just go to the website and a DAW will pull up, called BandLab. A ton of people are using BandLab right now. It's extremely versatile. It has its own effects and plugins inside of it. It's completely free. You can legit make a whole song. I've seen people do it. I mean, so like nowadays there really isn't an excuse not to have a DAW. Like there's too many free options. There's too many versatile options. Go and try some stuff out. Come back to me, you know, tell me what you like, what you think, you know, how the whole process. Right. So next on the list are microphones. Now there's 3 different categories of microphones. There's dynamic mics, there's ribbon mics, there's condenser mics. Now we're mainly going to go over dynamic and condenser mics today because those are generally mics that artists would use to record in. We're gonna go over a lot of different mic options. We're gonna go on a scale from like budget friendly to yeah, you got that bag for real, and we're just gonna kind of slide up that scale for mics that you can get. So as far as a very good starter mic, this is actually a dynamic microphone, but it does sound clean on recordings. And shout out to Sweetwater, man. Avid and Sweetwater, come holler at me, man. You know what I'm saying? Shure SM58. So everybody you know has seen this microphone because it's probably the most common microphone you'll ever see. It's on every stage across America. It just gives off a clean signal. You can use this like legit to record. It'll get you there for real. $99, not crazy as far as the price or anything. Solid price microphone. Like I said, everybody knows what it sounds like. As long as you know what you're doing, you're gonna get a good sound out of that microphone. Next on the list, we have the AT2020 by Audio-Technica. Now, this is a condenser microphone. Whoa. So this will be more similar to the one that I'm using right now. It gets mixed reviews. You know, some people absolutely love it. They swear by it. They just know that this is the beginner's microphone. And some people, they hate it. I think a lot of people honestly don't like it because you just know how it sounds after a while. And you know what I'm saying? You have flashbacks, things like that. But no, I mean, I've heard so many good things about it. There's no way I could make a list like this without recommending it. The AT2020 is definitely a good way to go. But the one that I started with is usually in the same exact conversations. It's the AKG P120. I'm pretty sure I got it in a drawer here somewhere, but AKG P120, very good mic. Like I said, all these mics ain't cracking 100 yet. It's right 100 on the dot, bro. But these are like legit solid mics. They're gonna get you the sound you need. I still use it right now. Like, you don't have to spend a whole bag to get all this stuff all the time. All right, next on the list. Now we gonna hop a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put a little bit more down on the table. First thing up is the Rode NT1. You can get an NT1A as well. But yeah, so like this NT1, it looks like it is at 159 right now. I think they just put out the 5th generation NT1 not too long ago. Yeah, so that one's at 250. But yeah, solid microphone. I've only heard a bunch of good things about it. I was actually debating on getting that microphone instead of the one that I got. Next one on here we have is the Lewitt LCT 440. And honestly, I've been hearing a lot more about this mic. I've seen that a lot of people have been using this a lot more recently. Another one that I was thinking about getting myself is the SE Electronics SE2200. I think it sounds super clean. Honestly, I have heard this one myself. It's a really dope mic as well. All right, so now we are jumping. We you know what I'm saying? We jumping a little bit more. This next mic, AKG C214. This is modeled after the legendary AKG C414. Very good microphone, really clean sound. I think the top end on it's like really good and controlled. All right, and next up is actually the mic I'm using right now. It's the Slate Digital VMS ML1. So this is a modeling microphone. That means it's going to emulate other microphones. So you know, like I said, so far I've been debating on what mics I want to get. Like, do I want to get the C214? Do I want to get more expensive and get a microphone that, you know, I'm going to cover later in this list? I don't know. I was kind of undecided. Well, why try and spend all this money on getting one mic, especially at the stage that I'm at, whenever I could get a microphone that can emulate whatever mic I want it to be? So I went ahead and got this. Now this price, $599, is a really good deal. This mic usually ends up being on sale around holiday times. Whenever I got it, it was retailing for $899, and I think I still end up getting it for around $599. So right now saying it's $599 and it ain't even on sale like that. Honestly, this is a cop. It's clean, bro. It's really nice. Best mic I got so far. All right, and then the last one in this tier, we have the Neumann TLM 102. It's just a clean mic, man. Very clean. does very good in the high ends, I think, based off from what I heard. Right now it's going for 724, retail is 750. It looks like if you are able to get your hands on this mic, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I'm jealous of you. All right, so now I ain't gonna lie, we in the super paid tier, you know what I'm saying? This is la la land for me. I'm dreaming. Now, any of these companies, like I said, this is a dream to me. So if you want to sponsor, if you want to send stuff, if you please, Lord, I beg you, I'm telling you, like legit, I'll make a video on them. I do whatever. First mic up is the big brother of the one I just showed you. It's the Neumann TLM 103. This mic goes for $11.95. Yeah, just look at that thing, man. Next up, AKG C414. You know, I told you guys about this in relation to the C214. A lot of people absolutely swear by this mic. Yeah, y'all, I said we was off the deep end for real. That Neumann U87, I'm a U67. Any of those would be dope. App just pristine, bro. If you hadn't heard it, go hear it yourself. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. The Lawton audio mics, man. I know they got the Atlantis, the Clarion, or I'm not sure how you pronounce that. The Eden, bro. From what I've heard, these mics are insane. That's probably top of the bucket list. Like if I was able to get my hands on a Lawton audio mic, now I have zero plans on ever buying this microphone in my life. I will probably rent it at some point just to say that I, you know, have held it, touched it, rented it, looked at it. 11K. It's clean though. It's clean. This microphone that I have right here models it. I like how it sounds. So, all right, man. So the next thing up is the audio interface. The audio interface is super important. It's basically the middleman between everything for the most part. So whatever you're recording into your mic feeds into your audio interface, and then it goes into your computer so you can do things with it. So it understands what's going on, and then your computer sends back out whatever it has going on to your audio interface. Your audio interface sends that to your speakers or to your headphones. So it's the middleman. It's passing all these, you know, signals around, making sure it gets where it needs to go. And in that, the only real thing you just want out of an audio interface is for a very clean, flat signal, and for that signal to be translated very accurately. So once again, we're gonna start budget options, then we're gonna go up from there. I'm gonna start with some interfaces that have one input. As far as inputs with interfaces, that's probably another primary thing you want to look for. If you have like a band or something, you need to record everybody, you're gonna need an interface that has way more inputs. But if it's just you just recording yourself, you might only need the one input. But for budget's sake, I'm gonna start with some audio interfaces that have just a single input. All right, so yeah, like you can go pick up a 3rd gen Scarlett Solo for $100. You know what I'm saying? And this, everybody knows what a Scarlett is. You've seen this cherry red, this Scarlett right here in a ton of different places. Scarlett Solo's extremely solid to go to. $100. Go ahead and knock that out if you need it. An audio interface that gets overlooked a lot of times is actually the PreSonus audio box. It has 2 inserts actually. It's also $100. But I've seen people be able to achieve some pretty good results with this one too. The next interface I was actually going to show you is the one that I'm using right now, but apparently, like I've been planning on replacing it. I think I've outgrown it, but at the same time, it's gotten me through literally all these years. It's a Steinberg UR22 Mark II, not the UR22C. I literally paid like $70 for it. You might be able to find it on Reverb. You might be able to find it on eBay. I just wanted to put it out there so y'all know what I'm using. All right, so next on the list, kind of going up another tier again, is going to be the Scarlett 2i2. So basically this is just like the Solo. Now you have 2 inputs instead. This is the 4th gen. You probably could get the 3rd gen for a little bit cheaper. But yeah, like I said, solid interface. Can't really go wrong with it. Also, another popular option right now is the UAD Volt 2 that's been coming out. So this has 2 inputs, 2 outputs. I know they have the 276 option. So this gives you that 76 compressor right there, that emulation, and you can kind of go through your different settings and whatnot. I know a lot of people talk about getting like an Apollo Twin. If you want like the baby brother, baby sister version of it, then this might be all you need right here. Also, an SSL2 USB audio interface. I've heard a ton of good reviews about that one. That's another one. The Motu M2, yeah, it's also a pretty solid option. Only heard good things about it too. And a newer entry into this field is the Presonus Quantum ES2. I know they just released the ES2 and the HD, but honestly, this looks really clean, and it's been kind of, it's been kind of taking my attention away from the ones I've been looking at. So I don't know. I mean, if anybody's had it so far, let me know about it. But this looks really solid. And now hopping more into audio interfaces that I really want, like the more paid options. Inbox Studio, you can get this right now. This audio interface honestly is gorgeous. It sounds great. And right now, if you buy it, you actually get a perpetual license of Pro Tools Studio. It's a fantastic deal. I'd love to take advantage of it. Next is the Apogee Duet 3. A lot of people have been talking about how good this thing sounds for it to be as portable as it is. And obviously everybody knew this was coming up. An Apollo Twin, I've always kind of wanted to check out a Twin. I know it's getting kind of mixed feelings, mixed reviews now. I want to get access to some plugins that UAD has. UAD, please put the voice of God on native, bro. Like, I just want to be able to have it without having a Twin. I just really want to be able to use the voice of God just in general. But at the same time, definitely with all this stuff, man, do your research. If it doesn't fit for you, it doesn't fit. I'm just going off of what I heard. I'm going off of my personal experiences too. Yeah, so up next we have studio monitors. Obviously, these are super important, kind of like the audio interface, just so you have an accurate representation of what's going on. The difference between studio monitors and just like regular speakers that you listen to is you want it to be super flat. You want it to be super flat, super transparent. They shouldn't be very like quote unquote enjoyable to listen to. Like if you can make your song sound good on these monitors, in theory, you should be able to make it sound good anyway. So like a really standard pair of like beginner monitors, the monitors that I started with is the Presonus Ares series. I think they might start off at 3.5. Yeah, $100 set of monitors. Like I said, bro, you really can get everything you need for a lot less than you think. Solid. Whenever you get a smaller pair of monitors, just in general, is you're gonna start losing bass response. So, the bigger your monitors get, the more of that low end you're gonna be able to hear. So you're going to get some inaccuracies there. That's going to be something you have to, work around, learn around. As far as what they are supposed to do, very capable set of speakers. Another really solid, small set of speakers. But yeah, no, I've seen a lot of people have these, had a lot of success with them. Yeah, they're pretty straight. Stepping up a tier, any of my mid 2010s producers, FL users, these speakers. KRK Rocket. Now, for a mix engineer, from what I've heard, these aren't necessarily the best speakers to mix with. But if you producing, you making beats, ain't nothing wrong with no Rockets, man. Go and get yourself a pair of Rockets. And like I said, we're definitely up some tiers with it. I think across the board, I guess you could say the industry standard to an extent for like home studios, but a lot of people are getting the Yamaha HS8s. I've heard them, they sound pretty good. I do know the Yamaha has started making smaller speakers. So I know the HS5s are out. I don't know if they come in all the way in 3. Let's check that real quick, actually. Shoot, you can get them in 3.5. So if you was looking at those Presonus speakers or those Mackies, actually you can check out the Yamaha HS3. Because I would assume it's comparable to the 8. Like I said, you're going to lose that bass response most likely. But yeah, I think that's a really solid find actually. As far as some other, like I said, these are just like dream buys to an extent. Atom Audio speakers, heard a lot of like really good things about, very well made speakers. Same thing with Focal Audio, man. Like they are on a tear right now, it feels like. I know they have other options that are more budget friendly. But yeah, like it feels like they're just on one. And then to throw in just like another brand that I felt like I've heard a lot about recently, Cali Audio has been getting a decent amount of attention, and they're also not that expensive. You know, that might be a good pickup, to be honest. And kind of an unorthodox pitch for like a studio monitor, mainly more so for mix engineers. A lot of people have been raving about the Avantone Pro mix cube, or just getting a single mix cube. That could be the difference maker for like your mid range. A lot of people have been going on about it. I know Colt Caparoon, he uses mix cubes. I'm going to get a mix cube at some point. It's not even like a debate. And then the last section we need to go over is going to be headphones, man. Those are basically just as important as studio monitors to an extent. In some cases, they're more important. You're going to be looking for the same qualities in them. So you want them to be really flat, you want them to be very transparent, you want them to be comfortable because they're going to be sitting like on your head the whole time. Yeah, I mean, but just as examples, there are two different types of headphones. There are closed back headphones, these right here. No, nothing on the back right there. Closed back headphones. Then like the ones I have on my head right now, can you see that? Yeah, so like that open grill right there, those are open back headphones. So basically these right here, I can hear my surroundings right now. I'm recording a video right now. I kind of like to do that. But whenever you're mixing, open back headphones are supposed to be more transparent to how the sound would sound in a space. Therefore, you end up making better decisions while mixing. Honestly, I don't know all the science behind that, but at the same time, my mixes were better with open back headphones, so I ended up buying a pair. But to go through a handful of those different types of headphones, right here we have some Audio Technica ATH. Any M series headphones is honestly a solid headphone out of Audio Technica. So if you're mixing, recording, anything, these are some decent monitoring headphones. I think these are the M30Xs or something like that. I just wanted an extra pair of headphones to record in. These Sennheiser HD280 Pros, legendary, honestly. There's a ton of people that end up using these, only $100. Like Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros. And these are the first headphones I have. They're actually down there somewhere. Very solid headphones, very clear, transparent. Honestly, the best headphones I ever had. I'm a Beyerdynamic guy. Like I just go to Beyerdynamic anytime I want some headphones, to be honest. Now, as far as some open back ones, Beyerdynamic DT990 Pros. Those are the ones I have on my head right now. Like I said, haven't been disappointed. Extremely solid pair of headphones. They also make some DT900 Pro X's. They're open back as well. A lot of people like those as well. And then another open back pair that I see going around are the Sennheiser HD660 S2 open backs. Now, granted, you know what I'm saying? Look at how much you're gonna be dropping on them. That's up to you. I mean, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? If you got that on you and you want to go take a look at them, you know what I'm saying? I don't blame you. One thing I definitely think you should listen to whenever you do get these headphones, it's my new project. I just put out a new project, I Stopped Caring. I worked really hard on it. It's linked in the description. So if you guys want to listen to my music or listen to anything else done by me, go down there and go get it. Also, I missed a lot of things. This is just an overview, and we made sure to hit each and everything that you guys might need in order to go ahead and get started recording yourself or recording others. But if there's something that you like that I didn't include, put it in the comments. Put everything else in the comments. I'm gonna be down there responding to you guys. But make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Avid, hit me up. Sweetwater, hit me up. Anybody in this video, hit me up. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.